Whoop! I just realized that I didn't have myself on for the live stream. I just said all of that I'm not awake today, by the way. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen! It's Thursday. Oh, it's May the 20th, 2021. It's another Tech Alpha podcast. It's another glorious day. We got another great show lined up for you now that I've actually turned my microphone on for all of you to hear, not just Jeff. This is not a podcast for one person. Mr. Black is frantically trying to get his lighting.
Anyway, I think I got it.
It's pretty good. I think you're good. I think you're good. I don't think you need to go any crazier than that. Let me just get on the. I am unfortunately going to be standing a little taller here. One sec. I don't know if there's anything I can even do about that. Well, here. We'll do something like this.
There you go.
I've got shoes and shit on today, and I'm on my anti-fatigue mat and whatnot on my standing desk. So I'm taller than I was when I was streaming with the standing desk the other night, and so I'm a little taller than the webcam. But we got her sorted out. That'll work. It's not a technical podcast, but of course, before we start, just like every other week, I have to ask a very important question. Mr. Black, how's your week?
It's been a good week actually. It's been another week just grinding it out, chilling. Nothing in my life thing crazy. Oh, I don't know if I said I'm selling a house.
Yes, yeah, you mentioned, yeah.
So, I had the house under contract. The market's so crazy hot that like basically what you do is you put something up on MLS, and then you basically say, hey, say the place went up on Monday. You say on Thursday. Usually you do it over the weekend. So it was actually, we put it up I think on a Friday, and then we said on Monday by noon, everybody has to have their offers in. So you don't actually decline an offer until all of the offers come in. You look at them all, you choose the best one, or you reject them all and you move on. So we put it up. We had like 4 offers. I ended up accepting one. It went under contract. I wasn't too keen about the offer itself. I got over asking by I think it was by 16,000, something like that. But I priced it in a thing where I knew it was going to go over asking. I didn't like put it at the top because you know it when you go into a lower price point, people a lot more people will look at the property, and then if they like it, then they'll exactly right. Yeah. So we did that. I ended up accepting an offer. They did their inspection. They did all this stuff. And then they ended up just getting cold feet. They didn't really have, like, they made a technicality clause where they could get out of it without, being penalized. But there wasn't any, like, major issues. I think they just got cold feet. It was a young couple. And so, anyway, that went. So I was like, okay, that's fine. It was only under contract for a week, so I didn't lose that much time. Because right now I'm not renting the place. It's a duplex that I bought there like 13 months ago. And so we put it back on the market. The next day, we did the same thing. 3 days, going to get offers. 6 offers came in, and 4 of those 6 were higher than the one that I had previously said yes to. And one of the 4 I accepted, and it was $66,000 more. So now it's under contract. The reason why they want it so bad is it's empty. Right. And the whole basement was just renovated because of the flood. Yeah. And then obviously I got like the back traps and everything installed and properly, everything got properly done. It cost me like $27,000 I spent doing all this stuff. So yeah, it's under contract. The reason why they want it so bad is because it's actually 2 families. They were looking for a place that had an in-law suite, but this one is actually 2 separate units with separate meters and everything. So it was perfect for them because they're like they have a big family or 2 families and they want to live together. So they're both going in on it, and so they're willing to to pay a bit more. So yeah, it was a great offer. So that's under contract, and I'll find out next week if it's like closes. I think they're doing their inspection and stuff tomorrow. So but yeah, no, I was really, really happy about that because it's $66,000 more than before. So yeah.
Sounds like Halifax right now. Everything's going for
crazy.
like 50 grand more than it's listed as. It's absolutely fucking nuts.
It's insane. I have been very, very tempted to basically get rid of several properties and just take advantage of where the market's at right now, but we'll do one thing at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm at the point now where I'm wondering if I'm going to just end up looking for property that's relatively outside the city and just buying a property and then waiting for the lumber cost to come back down to earth after the pandemic is fucking done fucking it in the ass, and building a home on land versus buying it or trying to get outbid. Because there's got to be a crossover point where the overbidding by families and stuff coming into province is going to be more expensive to just try and get into a turnkey solution versus just buying land and building a fucking house. Like you're going to be paying more, especially right now because of construction costs. But there's got to be a fucking point.
Construction costs are insane.
Insane right now.
That's the problem.
Well, Dad, yeah. Like once that settles down, and it will, I don't think you're going to suddenly see lumber be 50% more expensive for like the next fucking 15 years. But like Dad's out on the back deck right now, and he had to like come up with whether or not they wanted to rebuild the deck or just completely sand the whole thing down and just fucking replace the lattice work.
Time to sand.
And he looked at just the joist. And just the joist was going to be like $600.
Yes.
For because each joist was like, what did he say it was? Each joist was like $50 or $60 for a piece of one single piece of fucking joist.
Yes.
So so yeah, he was like, yeah, no, fuck that. We're just gonna sand down, replace the railings, and just fuck the rest of it. So yeah, no, it's nuts right now. But
it's insane. It's not slowing down. The inventory here is less than a month's worth. Like usually there's like 90 days, like 3 months. Like houses are usually like 2 years ago, they'd be on the market for up to like 90 days.
Yeah.
Now they're on the market for like 4 days.
Yeah,
it's just there's nothing. There's literally as soon as something's on it, it's gone. It's gone instantly. So many people are moving here.
I can't wait for the census information to come out and see how many of these people are coming in from out of province.
It's a lot.
It's just boatloads of people. And yeah, I mean we've had the conversation here before, but Nova Scotians specifically are going to get fucked in the ass real hard.
And it's even more so because like this lockdown and shit.
Yeah, people are really wanting to be here now.
Yeah, a lot of people are moving here. Like there's places where I'm close to. We were talking to neighbors, and they were like, family. They were selling their houses, and families from Ontario are basically moving in here because they're just tired of the way Ontario is. They're like, fuck that. They actually visited here, and then because they had some family like on the outskirts, and they're like, dude, we're just not going back. Fuck that place. They're all coming here.
That's and you know what? Like I gotta be real. I talked about this on the stream. I gotta be real about it. I gotta keep it 100. All right. Fuck all of them. Fuck them. And you know why? Because these are the same people that until this pandemic popped off, basically we were like the black swan. We were the outcast. Like the East Coast, the Atlantic provinces don't exist for people that live in Ontario or west of Ontario. Any issues that we had here, nobody gave a fuck. They wanted to hoard all the shit to themselves. Ontario, Toronto's the center of the universe. And nobody gave a fuck about out here. There's nothing to do out here. It's the boonies, whatever. They think we're all living in fucking igloos and shit out here. Like nobody, fuck. And then all of a sudden the pandemic hits, and all of a sudden they're all like, let me buy some of that East Coast lifestyle merch and set up shop out in fucking Halifax somewhere. I'm suddenly feeling the East Coast lifestyle. I'm feeling a fishery coming on real quick.
Yeah, you know what they're doing? They're going, hey, I may as well sell my $1.2 million house in Ontario and then buy a $400,000 or $500,000 house here in Nova Scotia at the same size, and then I'm just gonna bank $500,000.
But they're not even doing that. They're not even doing that. They're coming here and they're taking a $400,000 house and paying $500,000 in cash, so that anyone that's here where the median income of this province is $42,000 literally can't fucking buy a home. And you know what's worse is that because of this, rentals, as well as you would know, are like 1% or under in terms of vacancy rates. And the prices are going through the roof. So mom and dad, who were originally likely to sell this house to scale down so that they don't have to worry about anything, well, now they're not even thinking about really renting because it's so fucking expensive that the cost of upkeeping the entire house and property here is less expensive than renting a tiny ass apartment. So like you're fucked here. If you aren't already making, if your household isn't north of $250,000 a year, you are going to be struggling to buy anything that isn't a crack house for like God knows how fucking long. And it's specifically because Ontario people and Western people are coming here and outbidding the entire place. Like you are in your house. What was the over the asking price? Even though you sub-asked, that's still insane. 60 something grand
66.
over.
Yeah.
Bro, 4 years, not even 4 years ago, 3 years ago, you'd be talking about posting a home on the market 90 days and you sell for 15 grand less than asking price most of the time. Now you're talking about 50K plus more in cash. You can't keep up with that with the wages that we have here. You just literally can't. And so you can afford the mortgage, but you can't fucking afford to go toe-to-toe with a bunch of people that are coming from a market where the average house is $750,000 to $850,000. You can't fucking do that. So I don't, and the pandemic, of course, where people are now working from home, they're still going to be doing jobs for companies back in Ontario. They're just here. They're just living here. So they bring the money from Ontario and they shift it into a house here, and everyone else that's here that's working jobs in Nova Scotia going, well, how the fuck are we supposed to live in our own province? And yeah, 2020 put that on fast forward. So it's a nutty, crazy time. Great for amazing. I'm happy for you because it means that you're going to recoup money that you had to dump into that fucking property to get it back up to where it was. Like you said, you had to spend like well over 20 grand just to get the basement to be not Noah's Ark after that fucking flood. so it was great timing for you in that regard.
It's good timing. It's
It's great timing, and thankfully you didn't have to replace too much lumber because otherwise it would have been 40 grand that you had to spend.
Well, I had to redo the whole subfloor and everything. It was $4,000 just to do the subfloor, which would normally have cost like $900.
It's fucking plywood.
Plywood, $4 grand. $4,000.
$4,000 in plywood.
It was 24 sheets of plywood, and I think 60 2x4s. It was $4,000, something like that.
Oh, that's crazy, bro.
Fucking insane.
It's fucking crazy. Well, let's talk about some video game stuff, because, I mean, my week wasn't anything. Well, I'll brief recap. Standing desk is here, obviously. I'm standing at the desk right now. Conveniently, I'm so tall that when my desk is in standing position, I can slide my chair underneath the desk. And so it's like before, I didn't even think about that. I was like, man, when my desk is up, where the fuck am I going to put my chair that was just going to awkwardly sit in the middle of the room? But no, it fits underneath the desk. It went together well, totally worth the money. I wish it was a deeper desk. I hate that pretty much every desk that you buy anywhere that's an office desk is 30 inches deep, and that's like the deepest you can find.
Yeah, it's whack. Yeah.
It's useless. I don't know who wants a 30-inch deep desk, because any monitor that's bigger than 24 inches, I've got this 32-inch monitor, and it's mounted to the desk, so it's about probably 4 inches in from the back of the desk. So I'm less than 2 feet. From this monitor. I feel like I'm making out with Jeff right now on this screen. I am so close to the fucking monitor, it's insane. And you can tell the webcam, I mean, based on where it was before, on the other monitor, on my old desk, I looked like I was a football field away. Now I'm literally, you could see the pores on my face because I'm so close to the webcam. So it's a bit of an adjustment in that regard. But otherwise, it's great. It's got 4 memory settings, so you can have a setting for sitting, standing, and everywhere in between. If you had multiple users, like if this was in an actual office setting where you had, like if it was in a common area maybe. But I only need the 2. And miraculously, it goes tall enough for me. In fact, it goes taller than that. It will go up to 49 inches. It will take the fucking desk height. Yeah. So happy to have that in. The monitor stands and everything working well so far. I have to figure out lighting because the lighting is good at the standing position, but I don't quite have it figured out for sitting. The microphone was a bit of a challenge. Shout out to Elgato, even though I'm not directly sponsored and I paid for this shit. We managed to somehow string together enough of the master mount shit to get the microphone where it needs to be. I'm technically overdoing it. It's not supposed to carry this many rods across horizontally, but it's working. So engineering. And then of course, when you stand close to the ceiling, I've had to go back in and redo my audio and all that shit in Audition. But yeah, we're all done. Did a couple of test streams. And now I can sit and stand. It hasn't solved, it hasn't solved the fact that my legs and feet are fucked, but we'll get there when I can get into the doctor's office sometime between now and whenever the fuck people stop bringing COVID into the province, which would be lovely. Although today I think we're down to 65 cases
it's going
today.
Down. Going down.
So hopefully it continues to go in that direction. Both Mr. Black and I scheduled our first 5G Mr. Microsoft-backed vaccines coming up in the first week of June, so that's exciting. I was salty, dude. I was so close to getting May 28th. I was right there. I was on the page, had it selected, but just like when you're trying to buy a PS5 right now, everyone's doing it at the same time, and they don't hold that shit in the cart. They don't hold your vaccine date in the cart. You gotta fill out that whole form at lightning speed. And I was not fast enough, and so I didn't quite get the 28th. So I got the 2nd. I think you're in on the 5th?
Yeah, mine and Kate, we're both the 5th. Like, we're 1 hour apart. So I'll go there, get it, come home, watch Kai. She'll go there, get it.
Oh, okay, yeah. She was telling me on the phone that that's what you did, staggered it so that somebody was able to be here with, or be there with Kai, yeah. So there you go. That's my week. It's time to talk about video game news, Mr. Black. You ready for some video game news? Well, first, it's not really video game news, but we lump it in anyway. Twitch! Couple of things at Twitch. The first being that Twitch is rolling out regional pricing. Finally, in a number of countries that have been getting fleeced for subscription costs for years. So if you were in Mexico or in any number of countries, I mean Canada as well, really, pretty much anywhere, you were paying US dollars.
Yes.
And so in Canada, that's like $7 for a 1 month sub, but in Mexico, it was like half your fucking month's rent and to get one sub. It was nuts. Super expensive. So benefited streamers to a degree, insofar as that anyone who could afford to and wanted to spend that money, you were going to get US dollars the whole way through. But for the person on the other end, not so hot, getting fucked pretty hard. So this is definitely a positive move. Net. It might result in certain streams that have larger percentages of people in those regions. It might see a small dip in overall income coming in until you can perhaps bank on more people from those regions being willing
subscribing. Yeah, it's being able to subscribe now that it's more affordable.
Conceptually, right? That's what you hope to happen, right? So that's so there will be a couple of months probably where it's a bit of a toss up, but in general, net positive. Everyone seems to be happy about this move, both streamers and of course viewers, and so there you go. And then in the same breath, you gotta Twitch has gotta like stack bad news with good news. They gotta fold it together. You gotta make sure that there's gotta be something sketchy that can fly under the radar. In the same breath, Twitch also ended advertising on Amaranth and probably a few other channels, I'm sure, this week with no direct notice, really. Just kind of just up and fucking suspended advertising on her channel. And I think I saw you tweeting about this conceptually here the other day as well. This is a weird move because it kind of, to me, and I'll let you reiterate what you said on Twitter as well because I don't remember it all. But to me, this feels like, and I think to anyone really that would look into that, it feels like Twitch wanting its cake and eating it too, whereby you're getting a situation where Twitch, I know Twitch knows that all these streamers like Amaranth and anyone that you could in that category, we all know the category exists, whether or not Twitch wants to admit that it's a fucking category. It's a category of its own now. It absolutely breaks their TOS. They just fucking let it go. Like because that section of the TOS is so vaguely fucking written, even though when they said that they wrote it more specifically like last year, it is super fucking vaguely written for this exact reason. So that Twitch can play selective, do we not want to go through with enacting any enforcement here. And so for them, they want the eyeballs. There's a lot of money going through those channels. A shitload of money. They might not have 50,000 viewers, but let me tell you about the number of subs that some of those streams have. And it's not small change for Twitch on a monthly basis. So they don't want to completely get rid of that. But at the same time, they also have to be able to bundle lots and lots of views and lots of channels together to sell to advertisers. And it's kind of hard to sell to a lot of advertisers what these streams have been doing lately. It just is. It's just harder to sell to a great number of advertisers. Not all advertisers. Some advertisers wouldn't give a shit. But there are some that would. And when you're dealing with selling to an advertisement agency that might represent more than one brand, for example, because everything tends to get grouped up into packages, it makes it more difficult. And you want to be able to present the biggest number possible as Twitch to get the best deal. So, you don't want to silo it at the same time. So what are your options? Well, you don't want to ban them off your platform because you're making dirty simp money. But you also don't want to ruin your ability to sell advertisements to as many advertising conglomerates as possible. You want all of that shit. You want both. You want to eat your cake, have it, wear it, do whatever the fuck you want with your cake. Shadow box it, put it on a wall. And so that's kind of what this reads like to me, is that Twitch doesn't have the fucking nuts to come out and actually start putting TOS violations on these channels, but this is like them acknowledging that the material's too risque, but they don't want to ban it, but they do have to curb it for their advertising purposes. So it's just a very kind of fucking hypocritical move as far as I'm concerned. But what is your take on that? Because you had one on Twitter.
Well, mine's similar. It's I'm not as antagonistic against Twitch as you are. I mean, again, just okay. Before you go, to reiterate my stance on this whole thing, I want these girls to keep doing what they're doing until Twitch says otherwise.
Yeah, I have nothing against the streams
I have
themselves.
Nothing against their stream. Yeah, I have nothing.
I want them to, as long as Twitch decides it's within their rules. My whole problem with Twitch is that they don't enforce their own rules, even remotely equally. Like they just fucking willy nilly.
Yeah. So my point of view is like I tweeted out like, hey, I said I don't think these hot tub streamers should lose their ability to make ad revenue. I think they should lose their ability to stream on the platform. And it's not because I'm a hater or I don't want them to make their money. I personally don't think it's a good look for Twitch in general. I don't think it's inherently I don't think it's creative. I don't think it's and once again, this is very subjective. I'm giving you my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good for the site. I think it breeds the worst in Twitch in terms of the type of viewer that it creates. Not all the viewers there are bad, but what I think is it's creating a really, really negative impact on female streamers in general. It's to the point where I've gone to legitimate female streamers that, and when I say legitimate, I mean the ones that aren't, using their body as the main focus to generate income. They are essentially harassed. They see comments like even seeing comments like, "Thank you for not being in a hot tub," just like
maybe not
slides.
legitimate, but like not sexually forward streamers, not the ones that are specifically crafting their channel around sexuality.
Yes. Listen, I got
because it's not about being negative against that, but it's like they're still the hot tub stream's still a legitimate streamer.
It's still a legitimate streamer.
It's just
but
like,
I mean, okay,
that's why I'm trying to just.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to preface this before I talk.
Yeah.
I think all of the female streamers, Amaranth included, I know Amaranth gets a lot of shit because of her past, and
she's like the poster child.
She's the poster child. Listen, I think Amaranth is a hustler. I think she's intelligent. I think she's I don't watch her content, so I don't know if it's entertaining or not, but obviously she's doing something right. She knows how to play the game, and she's playing it, and she's amazing at doing that, and I don't blame her. She's an entrepreneur in every way possible. She has integrated her life into this. She's created a big brand. She's created demand. She's become a poster child for what it's like to be sort of, that type of streamer on Twitch. Where there's other girls that probably look up to her or see what she's doing and say, "Hey, I can do that too." And so, she's a pioneer. In this new thing. So don't think that I'm not hating on Amaranth. She's probably making more money than I am. I can actually guarantee you she's making more money than I am. And so I can't hate. She's out there making her money. Go get your bread. I'm all for it. The thing that I don't think that she should lose her ability to get ad revenue. I think if Twitch wants to remove ad revenue without her knowledge, then they should go to her. For one, they should go to her and warn her and say, "Listen, if you continue to do this, we're going to have to cut the plug." So that way she at least has an option. Like, okay, you know what? I'm willing to take this ad revenue hit because I'm making so much money on subscriptions and building my personal brand and getting an Instagram follow. And I don't know if she has an OnlyFans or whatever. I don't know. But all of that funnels in because now Twitch has basically become a funnel for her to sell herself to all these other avenues that probably make her way more money than what she even just makes on Twitch, if she's smart, which she is. So I'm sure that's the thing. So they should at least give her an opportunity to say yay or nay instead of just doing it. But ultimately, I think what Twitch needs to do, if it isn't advertising friendly, I think Twitch just needs to remove the category as a whole because it's already teetering terms of service. I mean, if you're gonna ban a streamer for 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever over a music video that they play where somebody's twerking, or in the RP world, the Vanilla Unicorn, which is a strip club, something happened and somebody got banned for a little while or some shit, but yet you're going to allow a streamer to sit on a inflatable banana, literally wearing basically nothing, just covers private parts while basically everything is there. And it is 100% a sexually driven agenda to viewers so that, they
didn't wake up in the morning and go, "Man, I'm feeling like sitting in a pool all day in a bikini."
Yeah.
I just feel it's one of those days, I just feel like it.
Listen, and there'll be white knights that'll be like, "Well, listen, man, just because some such and such is beautiful." I'm not just talking about Amaranth, but could be any of these streamers. Well, just because they look good and they have large breasts or whatever, doesn't make things illegal. It's just a woman's body. It's like, listen, guys, listen. I'm a male, dude. I love women. Okay, I'm not complaining about boobs. Okay, listen, the more the merrier. It doesn't hurt me any. I'm not anti boobs. I'm not anti-ass, I'm not. But what I am anti is I'm anti Twitch not enforcing rules across the board equally, right? Whether that is through DMCA shit with music, because there's certain streamers that are massive that plays whatever they want, whenever they want. They're not getting banned, period. And it's the same thing with these hot tub streamers or these ASMR streamers that what they're doing. And I'm not talking to all ASMR streamers. I'm not talking to all hot tub streamers because, yeah, sometimes there are streamers that just get in a hot tub, have a few drinks, laugh, talk to their chat, do an AMA, and that's fine. But then there are ones that are literally dedicated to just, this is their show. I mean, I don't know how you can sit in a hot tub for 9 hours. You know, there's a reason why you do it, right? It's because it's making you an insane amount of money. So I'm not anti that. But Twitch really needs to figure out what they're doing here because they're setting a weird precedent where you're almost walking on eggshells, where it's like, what is acceptable and what isn't? I mean, if you want to talk about sexually explicit content, how much more sexually explicit can you get than these hot tub
without
streams?
being nude?
Without it being nude, or it's literally bordering softcore, like
because this
solo,
is like the problem they ran into is when they said, like, you know, you could wear attire that would be okay in public, and a bikini is okay in public. You go to a beach in a bikini, etc., etc. But the key word there is you're going to a fucking beach in a bikini, and you're not doing it necessarily to sit on an inflatable banana and talk to passersby and have them give you $50 bills to write your name or their name on your forehead. You know, that's not what you do at a beach in a bikini. Nor do you. Yeah.
I also don't think that streamers should be able to go to the beach and film and live stream.
No,
at the
I just
beach.
meant in general because of how they worded their TOS, their terms of service.
But I mean, but they can. You know,
they
can. And you know, there are tons of people at the beach that are in a vulnerable state, wearing bathing suits or things, and they might not already feel comfortable to begin with, and they're sitting there being streamed live in front of thousands or tens of thousands of people, and you can see the stream chat making fun of people in the background doing whatever. You know, I just it's a weird thing. I think Twitch needs to either go, listen, y'all can do this and that's fine, and you know, we're gonna pay you, or they should just say, hey, there's gotta come a line. It's like, what are we? I think the play for Twitch, honestly, is to make another website that is affiliated with Twitch, as in, if you're already a partner at Twitch, you're already approved partner on this site. Have people like Amaranth and other you know, female and male streamers that do this sort of edgier or more sexually charged content, and let them be the star of that site, and allow to then package all that up to advertisers that are a little bit more specific or that don't care, and allow them to get paid and make a shit ton of money. Sort of make your own OnlyFans type of side thing. Now, I know Amazon probably doesn't want to brand themselves around that sort of thing, but ultimately that's what they're doing anyway. On Twitch, you're okay with it. So why not create a place where, you know, I'm pretty sure Twitch doesn't allow you to promote your OnlyFans on Twitch.
Not directly.
Not directly, but they all do, right?
Yeah.
So why not just make another sub-site that has already pre-approval? If you're already a partner on Twitch, you can have the perks. You can promote your OnlyFans. You can promote your Instagram and really own it. Like, if that's what you want, then own it. Get this shit off the gaming site, or I guess it's not really just a gaming site anymore, but get this shit off this, and then let them go wild over there. Let them completely 18 plus, go do your own thing. And I think you get rid of the issue altogether and say, listen, if you're going to be on Twitch, we can't have you doing these types of things. Our advertisers are just not approving it. It's creating a lot of weird buzz, and it's making us not look decisive on our decision making. But I don't call the shots, right? I'm all for it. I don't like the selective choosing. And it's also not fair to Amaranth. I can't believe I'm sticking up for Amaranth here, but I am. It's not fair to her that she just wakes up and her ad revenue's gone, or her ability to make ad revenue without even a dialogue, without even saying, hey, listen, I know what you're doing is kind of on the board. If you keep doing it, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to, this isn't advertiser friendly. And like you said, they probably package a lot of stuff. And Twitch is really all about running ads. They want ads. They're pushing this ad agenda, which is fine. My ad revenue has gone up. I mean, it's working. I'm not anti ads, but I mean, you got to find a way to either pay these streamers, or just don't allow them to do what they're doing. It's really not rocket science. They do want to have their cake and they want to eat it too, and which is fine. But you're going to get blowback, and you're going to people are gonna speak up about it. They just need to make a stand and just go all in or just go out of it. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I stand by the thing where I said, I don't know how long ago it's been now, but I fully suspect that we are within not that long where Twitch will break out the site into 18 only and everything else.
Yes.
Because I don't think they want to not have, I think it's blatantly obvious that they don't want to not have this content on the site. You know, they're willing to literally do almost anything to keep this shit going. You know, tweak the TOS, etc., etc. They obviously don't care about optics all that much when you got like that, what you talked about last year, the girl that was at a gym in like a sports bra that came down to her rib cage, that was doing exercise. She got banned for like sexually explicit content and shit. But then this stuff is perfectly fine.
But this hot tub stuff, like
hot tub's fine. It's a hot tub, like bending over, you know, tits out, fucking writing names all over. Like, come on, it's so blatantly obvious. You'd have to be lying to yourself and the rest of the fucking known world if you thought that this wasn't what it is. And so it's why I think you also don't see them really talking too much about it, to be honest. The closest we got was when somebody asked DJ Wheat in one of his live streams a couple weeks ago, and his response was not some of it was because of the way the question was phrased, but or the statement was phrased as well, but talking about how it was like, oh, well, these hot tub streamers aren't taking away your views. And it was like the focus was on that. And that's but I don't think like such a small, and usually the people complaining about that aren't even streamers. They're viewers of other streamers that are saying like, oh, they're taking views away from the gaming streams and shit like that. Like no legitimate streamer worth their salt is having a discussion about whether or not these streams are taking away viewers that they would get otherwise. Or that the IRL section is a problem. Like nobody's having that discussion. It's very much specifically about the blatant misuse of the TOS by Twitch.
My question would be like, why is this person getting banned for watching this sexually explicit music video?
Yeah.
Right? Or in a video game something comes up, right? I don't know, right? Whatever the case may be. But this isn't.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what the answer is. Money.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. There's just that's just it. And that's fine. But just own it. Don't squirt, go around and beat around the bush. Just own it.
They make it about, like, when Twitch talks about it, they'll make it about whatever else they can. So it's like, they're not taking viewers away from people, or oh, women need to be able to dress any way they want, and just because they're dressing that way doesn't mean you can talk. And those are just like ways of trying to change the conversation to make the people that are questioning all of this look like they're coming at it from like a sexist, anti-feminist kind of fucking position.
They might be scared if they do drop the hammer that will be the agenda, right? That they're gonna get Me Too'd, right? Where there's like, hey, you got a problem with a woman feeling brave and bold and beautiful and whatever. It's like, no, we're not at all. In fact, I'm all for women. Listen, if you got a body, go flaunt it. If you want to flaunt it, go, do whatever it is that you want to do. I don't have a problem with that. I don't, obviously Twitch doesn't have a problem with that. That's not the agenda. So making up the excuse of like, women should be allowed. I mean, yes, of course, it's their body. It's their choice. Nobody, only fuckboys are going to sit there and complain about a woman on the internet, using her body to make a living, in whatever way comfortable that they feel. Good for them. Some women don't at all, and good for them. Some women do, and good for them. I don't care. Just be fair across the board. It's not that simple.
Accountability. Remember when they said hold us accountable? Like 3 different times?
Yeah.
We're here.
So it is what it is, man. So that's what I think about it.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate for Amaranth. But and who knows? Like maybe she can get her ad revenue back if she stops doing it. Maybe they turn it back on. I don't know. I don't know the details, right? We're only going by what she was saying publicly about it. And I just don't care enough to like look into it and watch the VODs.
Well,
and
it doesn't go any deeper than that. Like other sites have already gone in and have done all the investigative whatever fucking part of it. Although all that there is right now is that there was no original communication. It was basically just gone. And then so there was no back and forth. And then she mentioned how she makes upwards of 30 grand a month in ads, and now that revenue is gone, right? So, you know, that's those are the details. And I'm going to be honest, like I'm not going to pretend like there's probably like Amaranth is coming out trying to do some weird anti-Twitch shit. I doubt that that's the fucking case. I suspect that given what we've seen Twitch do in the past, they did just come out and just fucking axe their advertising. One of the fucking advertisers probably came to them and said, we can't be doing this shit if this is what we're going to be putting our ads on. And so Twitch said, oh fuck. Pull the plug.
They may have just had to have done it by
Panic.
a technicality.
Yeah.
And then, you know, but who knows? I'm not going to sit here and speculate. I just wish they would just make a decision just straight up down the line and just move forward. I think the play really is to make an 18 rated thing and then package those streamers and average and then go after a different form of ads and make your money that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, but anyway, ladies and gentlemen out there hustling on Twitch, go make your money. Go make your money. You're not getting hate from me.
While you still can.
If you're making $30,000 a month in ad revenue, ad revenue, you're fucking murdering it. I'd be on the fucking hot tubs too. Holy shit.
No shit. Jeff Keighley dropping some more info on Summer Game Fest, which will be landing on June 10th of this year. But it's a bit of a different format this time around because I don't think before it was a single event. I thought it was spread out over some time. But this is one big show this year that's similar to the Game Awards, so he's kind of using a similar format in that regard. 20 or 30 games will be shown, with a lot of live service games apparently participating this year. I mean, that's not surprising given the number of live service, games that have been released and on the up and up. And then a quote from Mr. Keighley here says, I think there are going to be some big announcements and some long-awaited things. So, if I had to take a guess, Starfield is going to make an appearance. It's either going to be E3 or here or both that we're going to see about Starfield, and we'll talk about Starfield here as well down the line. I think I have it listed. Maybe I don't. Do I? One sec. Let me double check there. Yes, I do. Okay. So anyway, Starfield. I guess I'll just skip right to it and talk about Starfield. So Starfield being Bethesda's Bethesda GameWorks new game coming out. It's the space game, what everyone's probably going to refer to as Skyrim in space or Fallout in space or whatever else in space that you can think of. It's the first major step away by Bethesda Game Studios from Skyrim and or the Elder Scrolls and Fallout in some time. I mean, they have other Bethesda as a publisher have others under their wings, but this is like the first major new IP, and I don't even fucking know how long. It's been a hot minute. So lots of speculation around it, of course, and lots of rumors circulating. We talked about on the podcast how there was, earlier in the year, they were thinking that Starfield was going to land this year. There were rumors around that. Jeff and I both fucking hell no. Not a chance in hell is it ever going to land this year. No. And now there are more rumors swirling around about it after rumors started circulating that it was in fact going to be PC and Xbox exclusive, which we were talking about before as well with the Game Pass, with the purchase of ZeniMax, and thus Bethesda and their games, which ones would end up being in the category of exclusive versus not. And really, if you're going to make back your billions of dollars that you just spent, Starfield is probably going to end up being an exclusive to the PC and Xbox platforms, right? So, there you go. But the rumors right now are that, in fact, it is going to be 2022, and they're pretty much locked in. We're talking about like Jason Schreier talking about it, Jeff Grubb talking about it, where, they're saying, guys, don't think that this is going to pop this year just because it's likely to appear at E3 or some shit. It's just not going to happen. We're talking 2022, but like Jason Schreier was saying, not just 2022, but late 2022. This is not like a spring release. Like I think I was saying, I thought maybe the earliest would be a spring release, but that's not going to happen. We're looking at late 2022. So We will see something at E3 or Summer Games or the game event with Jeff Keighley, but we're not going to be seeing the actual game in our hands until late next year. So there you go. For those of you who were hoping that was going to drop, sorry, not for a while yet.
Ain't happening.
Ain't happening. EA wants to get back to the Shadow of Mordor franchise. That was actually quite popular, the Shadow of Mordor franchise.
I enjoyed the I didn't beat the game, but I did play a fair amount of the first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fast paced. It was wasn't bad.
Yeah, a lot of people enjoyed that, the first one. The second one, people enjoyed a little less because it was like very grindy and a lot of microtransactions all through the second one. But yeah, I mean, a lot of positive buzz around that franchise, and they want to get back to it. And so what they're going to do is they're building a new team around Kevin Stevens, who is the Monolith production studio head, to continue working on that franchise and bring another new game or new games out of the Shadow of Mordor series. So they're also saying at least this much. They have nothing else. They have nothing to show or anything, but they're saying that the studio will be focused on making open world action adventure games. And so it sounds like we're going to be getting Mordor that maybe approaches closer to an Elder Scrolls experience, where you're getting a much more open world and not so linear. Even though I think the first game had bits of open worldness to it, this seems like it's going to be true, full blown open world, as almost all games seem to be going in that direction.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm over open world games. I miss my old linear games that kept the story going, that was focused. I'm not saying that there can't be good open world games, because they are, but I'll tell you right now,
not everything needs to be open world.
I don't need or why can't we go to the thing where it was like the old Final Fantasies, right? Where it would be open world, but only certain parts of the game, right? But a lot of it was linear. Like, it kind of told you where to go. The best example of, like, you're probably gonna hate me for saying this, but I think one of the best games that did it for me in recent years that I've ever played was Final Fantasy 13. I really enjoyed how linear the game was, but then open at certain parts where I felt like I had the ability to go out and kind of have my own adventure, but the game made it so that I didn't get too off the rails. I didn't get lost in this open world madness. It held my hand enough where if I started going off the rails a bit, it kind of like, no, it's kind of like, you're walking the dog just starts sniff something and starts fucking off, and you're like, no, come back over here, focus, and I'll take you to where you got to go, and then I'll take you to the field, and then I'll let you go, and then you can go and you can sniff around and shit and piss wherever you want, but I can still see where you're going. And if you start heading towards the road, I can say, hey, Thor, nope, come. And then he knows to come back to reality. And then when we start to go back home to our destination, it's back to the linear. This is where we're going. Because I find, especially for me, if it's too open world, I start to lose track of what I was doing in the first place. And it's so big that I even forget where the fuck I was going. Like, where am I? I don't want to spend an hour trying to go back to this one NPC or this certain house that I got to go to talk to keep this fucking game going. I don't want to do that. This isn't Skyrim. There are certain games where make it open world and then get lost in it and go do your own goddamn adventure. I don't really care. Like, there's times and places where that is viable. But I think every game now, I think it's like open world is like this new buzzword that like that every game feels as though they need to have.
Is it even new anymore?
It's not even new. No, it's not new. It's just like it's like they feel it has to be in there. It's like, no, it doesn't have to be in there. If it serves the proper purpose for the game and the open world is adding to the experience, but 9 times out of 10 from the games I've played, the open world just makes it worse of a game. It makes the pace awful. And the worst part about it is they use it as a crutch to make the game feel bigger than what it really is. And the reality is a lot of these games, the game is very shallow, but then they'll preface it by saying, you know, if you go out there and the decisions that you make changes the story, and and all it is just this fluff to mask the fact that they really got an 8-hour game or a 6-hour game, but the open world part where you're lost for 3 hours, they add that as gameplay. It ain't for me.
Yeah, it's super accurate. Where especially the in recent times, the last few years, probably 4 or 5 years now, honestly, where they just put, you know, open world on the front of everything, and a lot of times what that means is it's not even open world. It's like it's like there's a hub world where you like run around and then you like select an area to go to, and it's not even really open world. And I think that when you do an open world, the design team ends up in this situation where they're like, oh my god, now we have to fill this world with shit to do. And then you end up in a situation where you have, you get to the open world part, you get through the tutorial, and then the world opens up, and suddenly you end up with 80,000 side quests, and they're all menial, and they mean nothing, and like 99% of them don't actually feed into any part of the story or lore in any meaningful way. It's like, you know, my cat's stuck in a tree, can you go get the cat from the tree, please? And then that's the way that they fill this world out, because somebody from the top came down and said, hey, we need this game to be open world, go. And it doesn't fit the game, but they have to do it anyway, and then you end up with all this fluff and getting, like you said, sidetracked by just doing all this shit, especially if you're somebody that hates to see, like, quests piled up. Or worse, you think that there's actual value in those quests, and so you don't want to skip them. Or not skip all of them. You know, maybe you want to go to a few of them. So, yeah, I suspect that, and you know, without knowing where they're taking Mordor, to try and be more specific to this point here, it's hard to say if a truly open world would serve Mordor as a franchise properly, or if it would hurt it, because it was very action sequence set piece based, right? It was you go into an area, there's a boss that you're getting to, you're killing a bunch of shit to get to this boss, etc., etc. And that feeds itself into, for me, maybe closer to, say, open world in the sense that Shadow of the Colossus was, where, yes, there's an open world, but it's pretty much just a big hub world that filters you into the boss zones. And yeah, there's some things you can do here and there, but it's not like a bajillion fucking side quests and stuff. We don't need to fill every nook and cranny. It's got lots of visual stuff, so it makes the trip fun to get from point A to point B. But ultimately, you're loosely going towards a zone where you're going to fight a boss and all of their enemies and blah, 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 blah. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what direction, what type of open world they go in, because like you said as well, and I agree, some games, it makes perfect sense. It adds a lot to the game. Obviously, the Elder Scrolls is, no matter how broken it is, it's still the best example of open world game that, in my opinion, the gaming industry has ever had and continues to ever have. Nobody else has quite gotten there with their attempts. So we'll wait and see more from Mordor. But yeah, like you said, you enjoyed the first one. Lots of people did, and I'm sure there's going to be quite a bit of hype surrounding seeing what's going to come next out of that series. Next up. Developer Free Radicals is being brought back to life under Deep Silver as a sister or subsidiary of the developer to finally help bring back the TimeSplitters series. I never actually played TimeSplitters back in the day. I know of TimeSplitters. I know a lot of people love TimeSplitters, but I didn't actually play it. I don't know if you played it yourself.
Didn't know.
No, so it is a very popular game. It is quite old at this point, and people have been kind of hoping for it to either, to get some sort of continuation or revival in some way for a long time, including the developers of the game themselves. They've been looking for a way in, somebody to give them the green light to go ahead and make another game in the franchise, and so now here we are. They're going to be underneath Deep Silver and producing the next TimeSplitters game. So we don't have a any more information than that. But for those of you who are fans of TimeSplitters, congratulations. Some shit's coming. And they went out of their way to revive the fucking studio to make it happen. So they're not handing it off to some random people. They actually revived the fucking studio to make it happen. It's a zombie game coming out of a zombie studio. It's one of those times. That's how popular old games are right now, Mr. Black. And when I say old, I mean within the last 20 years, because that means we're
old, bro. We're I didn't want to say it, but you said it. I mean, we're old, my dude.
It still blows my mind that Mass Effect Remaster came out, and there are so many people going, "What the fuck is Mass Effect?" And I'm just like,
crazy? Isn't that wild?
I'm not that old, am I? And then I'm like, oh wait, yeah, I'm getting up there,
dude. I've gotten to the point where I have like, it's super weird. I have cousins that are teenagers now, like 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
And a long time ago when I was 15, 16 years old, they're babies. So now they're teenagers. And I remember the last time I had was at a family gathering. A bunch of my cousins were there, all teenagers, probably from age 13 to 17. And I said, they're asking me about, playing video games for a living. And they're like, I tell my friends at school that like my cousin plays video games. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's cool.
But does he play Fortnite?
Yeah, no, they all played Fortnite. I don't. But they asked, what kind of games do you play? And I would tell them, and I said, but they're just not the same as the classics. And then they're like, well, what do you mean by classics? I said, well, you don't know what like GoldenEye is. And Mario 64, Final Fantasy 7, and all these things. And I realized that like these games are older than they are. Like they had no idea what GoldenEye was.
Bro, they were born in the early 2000s.
Yeah, they had no idea what Halo, like Master Chief, was. You know what I mean? They had no clue. They have no clue. It's Fortnite. Like that's fucking. It made me feel so old, and it put me into this thing where immediately when I was having this conversation, because I was with family, and the older I get, I almost had like this weird. I don't know if you've ever had this before, but I had this like weird epiphany where I look around at my surroundings, and my parents are there, but they're older. My cousins, my older cousins, they are my age, and they have little kids running around and stuff. And then I realized that like when I was their age, I used to look at my aunts and uncles and stuff like they were the grown-ups as super old, and like I'm the kid, and now I'm that, because when I was a kid, my parents, when I was a teenager, my parents are young. My parents were in their 30s, early 40s. My mom is like 56 now. She's still young. But to me, she's young. But like back then, she was my age. Which when it's mind fucking to think that like
adulthood's fucking weird, bro.
It's super weird, bro. Because
you never feel like you're actually an adult. And you don't really know, like we talked about this before, it dawns on you that you don't really know what the fuck you're doing. You're just flying by the seat of your fucking pants. And adulthood is like childhood, but with responsibilities, where you still don't know what the fuck is going on. You don't feel like you're old, but you are, and you just have to kind of like figure your shit out. Like it's kind of fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's like it's bizarre because I then look at like back then, and I look at how my parents were, and I realize like, holy shit, they were young and as unexperienced and just kind of going with the world as I am. And and I thought they had the answers to everything.
Yes.
Like I thought like, when my dad told me something, like he was right all the time. And like, I realized that like he's probably bullshitting a lot of stuff and just like telling me whatever it is was going on in his head, So like it's crazy. I'm old. I'm still young, but I'm like I'm old.
You're old enough in a world moving so fast now that it's like you're old at you're old at like 25 now. Like anyone that's like
Seriously.
you hit 25 and you see like I'll see them pop up on Twitter, because in this space a lot of people that are big now are like, 24, 22, 20
Yeah, young
and
20,
they hit
yeah.
25 and they're like, "Oh, I'm so old at 25." And I was like, "Man, at 25 I wasn't thinking I was old. I was thinking I was still fine." Like but now today it's like, my God, apparently after 14, you're just fucking dead. Like there's no more life after you've hit the midway point through puberty. Like what the fuck kind of crazy time scale are these kids working on now?
It's crazy. It's gonna feel even more wild when like my son gets a bit older and his friends are over and I'm like, holy fuck, I am that guy now. Like I am ancient to them. I am fucking ancient.
You are that guy. Yeah, you are
that guy.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts. Nintendo is pulling some wild shit as it's putting the fast travel mechanic from Skyward Sword HD behind a $25 amiibo.
Come on, Nintendo. Come on, man. Y'all can do better than that, man.
That ain't even DLC, bro. That is, you gotta get your hands on a physical good.
Damn.
The fast travel in an HD remake that's barely, we talked about this before, this is barely a fucking remake that they're selling for full price, and they have the fucking sack to know that their fans are gonna suck their dick for a $25 amiibo that allows them to fast travel in Skyward Sword HD. So for those who don't know about Skyward Sword, is that in order to actually get up into the air, if I recall correctly, you have to go to a save point in order to do that. That's where it happens. You're at the save point, you can go up into the air. Well, this amiibo allows you to go into the air from literally fucking anywhere, including dungeons, if I'm recalling this correctly. So, like, anytime you want to hit that air, amiibo, got your back. But if you're that plebeian that can't get your hands on the hottest commodity on the fucking planet at $25 for an amiibo that people are already buying like crazy anyway because it's a Zelda amiibo, well, you're fucked.
I'm telling you right now, bro, these amiibos in 20 years are going to be worth so much fucking money. You don't open them shits. You don't.
Bro, I'm salty. I bought a bunch and I gave them all to my fucking ex-girlfriend. And I had a bunch of amiibo.
Bro. They're already going up massively in price. Like, I mean, over the years, them things are fucking like that. In another 20 years, bro, those are going to be like the Pokemon cards of Nintendo. Like they're gonna be, they are going to be so fucking expensive,
bro. Figures in general, insane. Like the first 4 figures that do like a lot of the limited run statues for games and stuff. There was in 2017 they released a statue that I wanted to buy so badly, but I couldn't afford it at the time. It was Artorias from Dark Souls, and it was a reasonable scale. Maybe 18 inches tall or some shit. It was a big statue, but it was super detailed. Fucking hand painted shit, limited run. But it was $575 for this statue. And I almost did it. I almost stretched to make it fucking work to have it, but I was like, man, I don't really have anywhere to put this thing right now. And so I was like, all right, I can't fucking do it. So I didn't do it. And I went last night just for fun. And looked for it, see if I could find it. You can't find that shit anywhere. It was sold out ages ago. It's not on eBay or anywhere, but they have a new one coming that's Artorias, first 4 figures that you can still buy now. That is a 1-to-1 life-size bust, so the head shoulders up of Artorias, and it's like $900 or some shit. And people already have pre-orders locked up, and of course are on eBay selling their pre-orders for like nearly $3,000. Yep. So like that, some of these statues and shit, like they'd go up immediately, and if they're of certain properties, like the Zelda franchise or whatever the fuck, it's like guaranteed fucking money.
Yep. That's the play, man. That's the play. Is making the investment and buying these things and just holding on. Don't open them. Don't put them somewhere. Don't touch them. Put them in a safe. Lock them away and walk. Walk. Okay, and you're gonna fucking make
bank.
So
you can totally, they're saying in chat right now, and I should have mentioned this as well, not that it's not common knowledge for most people, you can buy RFID tags and make and get the codes and load them onto the RFID tags for any amiibo basically. So you can buy like 12 fucking RFID tags for like, I don't know, $15 or some shit, and then just do it. Hideously illegal. People sell them, sell RFID tags and stuff with printed art on them and shit. They got like Etsy shops and stuff, and Nintendo takes them down once in a while because it's not, they're not supposed to be able to do that shit, but they do anyway. So you can do it. It's the idea. Like, yeah, you can circumvent all sorts of stupid shit, but it's the idea that Nintendo sat down and were like, you know what? Fuck them. This is an HD remake we're already charging full price for. That's barely even an HD remake, and we could have given this fast travel thing as a quality of life improvement over the original game like we did with Wind Waker with sailing. No, fuck that. We want the quality of life, but stick it behind an amiibo for $25. That's the idea. This is just
get them, Nintendo. Get them.
Fucking bonkers. Lots of rumors. Oh no, sorry, that was one that we talked about the Starfield stuff. Mass Effect Legendary Edition has swapped out the hilariously bad stock photo that was used to reveal Tali Zora's face in the original game. So if you romance Tali and get all the way to the end, basically at one point in the game, you're over by the bed and you pick up this photo frame, and in it is Tali's face. Because for the whole game, you just see Tali behind her visor. You don't get to know what the fuck she looks like. She's like everyone's favorite fucking waifu from Mass Effect, if you have any taste whatsoever. And so everyone was like clamoring to see this face at the end of the game when it originally came out. And they did, they had it, and unfortunately, it was the most phoned-in bullshit ever. They literally bought a stock photo, put it in a frame, and loosely drew some shit over top of the stock photo to make it look quasi-alien, like removed 2 of her fingers. And that was it. That was her face originally. It didn't go over all that well with a lot of people back then. It's like, my God, you go through all this payoff and you couldn't take the fucking time to put a rendered face in the game based on, because what was really stupid is they had concept art of like 3 different versions of what they thought Tali was going to look underneath the helmet. They're like, fuck all that shit, buy a stock photo on like, I don't know, iStock, and then just friggin' tweak it a bit and throw it into the fucking game. So they did. So for the remaster, they actually replaced that, took the time to give you a render. It's still a bit underwhelming, to be honest. She looks a little too human, and she still has her helmet on. It's just the mask that's taken off. So it's just the mask, so you don't see if she's got hair or whatever the fuck that might look like or whatever. They just wanted to commit to like loosely the face, and that was it. But it's still better than a stock photo. So, credit where credit's due. Congratulations, you didn't just buy a stock fucking photo. That shit went down as infamous as fuck. Can't believe they did that shit. Who the fuck buys a stock photo for that kind of shit? Why? Stop.
Laziness, man.
Laziness. Jeff, this is quickly becoming what I think might be my game of the year. Mario Golf Super Rush is looking way better than it has any right to. You ready to watch it? You ready to watch a few minutes of this?
Sure.
You know what I have to say? I say this every time. You know what Nintendo needs to learn how to do? You're gonna see the starting screen here for a second, String. You know what they need to learn how to do? They need to learn how to hire voiceover people that have any amount of talent. Every time they fucking hire somebody to do the voiceover for these videos, it is the most phoned-in, horrible VO imaginable. I don't know what Nintendo's obsession is. I don't know if they go to Fiverr or what the fuck. They're going to iStock and they're buying Tali fucking stock photos and shit. That's the kind of shit they do. Because this voiceover artist sounds like they're both trying to be enthusiastic, but they're also dead inside. They have nothing left to their soul. So ignore that and enjoy the majesty that is Mario Golf Super Rush. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Mario's friends and foes are going head-to-head in the great game of golf. With easy-to-learn controls, anyone can get a nice shot.
Nice shot.
Mario Golf Super Rush. Study the wind and the terrain. Think it through, and then swing. Thanks to simple button controls.
So this is all really fucking like what you would expect from Mario Golf, and then this trailer goes on a fucking wild ride.
Curve shots bend the ball's trajectory. so you can avoid obstacles. Spin shots add a little spin to the ball, adjusting its path after it lands.
This VO hurts my
More
soul.
techniques in your proverbial golf bag.
Your proverbial
The
golf
shot
bag.
gauge lets you see how your shot will curve due to slopes. And the scan function lets you examine a course's terrain. With these techniques, you'll be strategizing like a master. Instead of button controls, you can opt for motion controls.
I can only imagine how
Gently
fucking
swing a
gong
Joy-Con
showy the motion
controller
controls
like a
are,
golf club.
but I'm still
Probably bad.
Swing them.
I'm still
That's
gonna
how
try.
your character will
cool, though.
swing in the game. You'll feel like you're really golfing.
No, you won't, but that's okay.
Mario and his pals are geared up.
Here we go.
Power to control. Each outrageous golfer has their own surprising strengths.
We're taking a fucking wild ride now.
Players can hit the greens. By connecting online, you can compete with friends and faraway golfers. There are a variety of courses, from lush natural scenery to fantastical areas you could only find in the world of Super Mario. Some courses are just what you'd expect. Others include strategic challenges. Expect the unexpected. Speaking of, there's a new way to play golf.
Here we go.
The kind of battle you could only wage in a Mario
Here
game.
we fucking go.
Speed golf. Now, it's always your turn. Each golfer tees off at once and races to their ball. Hit it again and again and try to stay ahead of the competition.
Here we go.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
Oh wait, there's more.
Throughout the match, you'll collect items to restore stamina.
This is like Mario
And
Kart.
over
It's
the
Mario
golf
Kart
game.
golf,
standing
bro.
Between you and victory. Every character has a different special dash, which can be used to rocket forward.
It's
while the
fucking nuts.
acceleration lasts. Or you could always use it to steamroll opponents.
It's actually Mario Kart.
It's
bro.
Mario Kart golf, bro.
Let's not forget these golfers' signature moves, special shots. Some knock back other balls on impact.
Ending
Others
friendships.
clear out any balls
Yup.
in their path. Each golfer has something special to offer. Use that to your advantage and make your rivals eat dust.
Eat dust.
Hitting the ball is just the beginning. Better know how
Bro,
to
the
dash,
football
block those
fucking guy
special
from Super
shots
Mario
to
World
keep
is in
up
this
with
game.
These competitors.
What?
And in this obstacle-filled arena, an intense new golfing competition is
Mario
underway.
Kart Golf.
Battle golf.
Battle
It's
golf.
with special rules set on a single course. Here, golfers battle to claim any of the 9 holes they can before their opponents. Be the first golfer to capture 3 flags, and victory is yours. Level up your golfing skills and your rookie me character.
But wait, there's
while
more.
Engaging with Mushroom Kingdom locals in Golf Adventure. In the practice area, there are in-game coaches for beginners to learn from as you work on technique. You're a golfer on a mission. Multiple missions, actually, and the challenges may surprise you.
Good.
Boss battles in golf? Legendary! You'll even level up by gaining experience.
Is that a Zapdos?
And then
I don't know what the fuck
allocating
Moltres.
points to
I don't know what
different
the fuck that
stats,
was.
allowing you to develop your golfer however you'd like. Then you can use your leveled up me in versus play.
It just keeps fucking
The
going.
Mario Golf Series has leveled up. Ready, set, swing. Mario Golf Super Rush. Available June 25th, only on Nintendo Switch. Pre-orders are available now on Nintendo eShop.
Bro, that's fire.
All right.
That's
Yeah. That was it's almost too much. There's almost too much going on in there.
well, they took a golf game. They were like, we could make Mario Golf, right? We could just make it. Just you take Mario characters and you put them on a golf course, and go, and that's Mario Golf, right? Which they've done before, but they were like, fuck that. Let's just make let's make a properly over the top Mario Golf game, and they took a lot from obviously from like Mario Kart as a formula, and stuck it in there.
And to some degree, Mario Party. I mean, it feels very. I mean, it feels very Mario Party meets Mario Golf meets.
Because who are you selling Mario Golf to at this point, right? If you just make a standard golf game, you're selling it to people that the cross section of the population that likes Mario and likes golf. But if you do all this shit,
I think the Rush format looks really dope. Where you're playing up against your friends and you're rushing and you're fighting each other and you're trying to get it. Because that way you're not sitting there thinking forever about your shot, and if you do for a long time, you know, there people are going to pass you. So I really dig that. I think that last game mode where it's just like you're leveling up your character and doing like little tiny trick shots and different things. I think that'll probably get old pretty quick.
I think it's only something you do once anyway, right? You just level your golfer up and you take your Mii in if you even want to.
I could do without that, but I think you know, playing single player and leveling up your character through the campaign and then using your character on a versus would be pretty cool. I like that it's online as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just, you know, queue up and play with other people. Looks pretty cool. I think the level when we got off the golf course and they were showing all the Mario type levels and the Bowser castles and different, that's cool. That feels like Mario. I actually think that looks like fire, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because it's not just golf courses, right? You know, they have that. Like you saw them, they were there. They did that in the beginning, and then all of a sudden they're like, you know, now we're in Bowser's Castle. They all look like Mario Kart courses, right? They're kind of crazy, and they have things on the course that will fuck with you as well. So it's not just, you know, your standard golf game. So I think it has a much broader appeal, but it's also just a lot more fun. And I think the versus mode is going to be it will end friendships like any good Mario party game. But looking pretty good. So there you have it, Mario Golf Super Rush 25th. I'll be reviewing it, so there's no two ways around that. My ass will be playing some Mario Golf without question. I forgot to mention at the beginning, I finished Resident Evil 8, reviewed that. It's a good game. Play it. In one of the worst names truthfully, in one of the worst names, but wildest concepts I've seen in a while, Lies of P, like the letter P. Lies of P is a dark take on the Pinocchio story that looks like fucking Bloodborne. There's a trailer, but you can watch it if you want. I just tell you right now, if you took Bloodborne and you crammed Pinocchio's story into it, that's what you're looking at.
Okay.
I don't know if the gameplay is going to result in that very same style, but the name of it, they could have gone with a better name. Lies of P is fucking terrible. That's a bad name.
They could call it Bucket of Shit, really. I mean, they could have.
Why didn't they just say Lies of Pinocchio? Why is it Lies of P? Is it so that people don't necessarily know right away that it's Pinocchio and think that it's a kid's game? Like, what is the purpose? This is terrible. Lies of P. It sounds like a failed drug test.
The Lies of P. A John Jones story.
Pretty much. There you go. That's all I got for game news, which means it's time to sell out Mr. Maximus Black.
Patreon.com/LagTV. Head on over there. Throw money at the screen. If you can't afford to throw money, that's all good. Go over and onto YouTube. Hit the like button. Share it. Leave a comment for the algorithm. Go on the iTunes and Spotify and leave your reviews. All that fun stuff. Check out the live streams. Go watch the VOD, even though you watched it on the live stream. Do whatever you got to do. Or you can support a sponsor. We got NordVPN. If you guys don't have a VPN service, head on over to www.nordvpn.com/OTT. Get 70% off a 2-year term with a bonus month on top of that, a 30-day money-back guarantee. Use up to 6 simultaneous devices, so you only need 1 per household. Super easy to use. Set it up at the click of a button. You can use it on your phone, on your PC. You can hook it up to your router all at once. You can virtually use it wherever it is that you want on any device you really want. And you can stay safe and anonymous. Watch different regions of Netflix. Watch region block content. You know, bypass the Great China Firewall. Yes, it even works in China. So go and pick it up, NordVPN. They're a big supporter of the stream. So whenever you're in the market for a VPN service, head on over to nordvpn.com/OTT. Use the promo code OTT and, support the stream and hook yourself up. Plus, we got Elgato. If you guys don't already have a Stream Deck, well, you gotta get one. It's 2021, guys. Everybody's getting a Stream Deck. All the cool kids got one. Adam's got one. I got one. Everybody's got one. Go pick one up. They're actually an amazing piece of content or a piece of hardware so that you can get to your favorite content whenever you want by the click of a button. If you want to open up the podcast, you can have a Technical Alpha, a button on there. You can go to the YouTube channel. You can go over to Adam's War Council website and watch his reviews. You can listen to your favorite music. You can shut down your computer. You can you check out your CPU percentage usage, your GPU. Name it, they can do it. You can hook it up to anything. It's a massive hotkey hub. You can macro virtually anything. You can use it in video games. So if you're playing MMOs and you want to use your Fireball, but you've already got that on, every other macro, shift control F2, you can do that by the click of a button and have a little tiny thumbnail on of a Fireball so that you know exactly what button to press whenever you want. So go check it out. Elgato, they've got tons of products, whether you're in it for stream decks, microphones, lighting, capture cards. They've got it all, and it's all high quality. It ain't cheap shit. Don't go out there and buy the competition that's going to break in T-minus 3 tries. Get something that's going to work. Get a quality product and get a product that supports your favorite content providers, which hopefully is us. So you can go and check them out on Elgato. Link is in the description below. That's it.
Now, Mr. Black, it's time for
movies and TV.
Got a fair amount in here today, actually. Sadly, only in his mid-50s, Kentaro Miura, that's probably not how you pronounce his last name, the man behind the Berserk manga and one of the most respected mangaka to ever do it, passed away from heart issues this week. He had like an aortal tear, like it just went out bad. But yeah, only in his 50s. The internet blown up with support for the family on that one, of course, so showing respect for one of the greatest to ever do it. And so sadly, Berserk is not going to see an end, at least not from its original creator. And so if you haven't already somehow heard about that, which apparently Cool Cat is not, now you know. Ryan Reynolds' Free Guy, as well as the upcoming Marvel Phase 4 Shang-Chi won't debut on Disney+. It will be exclusive, both of them exclusive to theaters at its release for some undisclosed period of time. Whether it's going to be the standard release window or a shortened one in theaters.
I think most things now are going to like 45 days. It used to be like 90. Now the window is closing because of streaming. And we're seeing this a lot more now. Like there's more confidence in the theaters. The United States, like almost everybody's getting vaccinated. It's going quick. They're starting to mandate things where you no longer have to wear a mask or social distance if you've had your vaccine. So they're gambling on the fact that by the time these movies come out, things will be even more normal and they'll be able to salvage some kind of box office. Obviously, I don't think the theaters are going to be the same really ever again. There will still be mega hits. There will still be billion-dollar movies that will come out. But I think they're going to be far few in between. It's not going to be, at least for the foreseeable future, I think it's going to take another 2 years before the theaters start to look normal again. Because, certain people just don't feel safe yet. It doesn't matter if they've had their first shot or all their shots or whatever. There's still going to be fear. And then also people have gotten out of the habit. We got to start, there's got to be a few major blockbusters that got to come out to get the average Joette to go into the theater and watch a movie again, to get addicted to that feeling or to get into that motion again, to be reminded on what they're missing out on. And then there's also some people that realize that they weren't missing out on much, where they're like, you know what? I've been watching movies at home for a couple years and I kind of like not paying $100 for a date night and dealing
I can spend $500 for a fucking 70-inch TV that for most people looks perfectly fine.
Yeah.
They don't care, and they're getting a pretty decent experience at home, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're never going to get that theater experience from home, but some people will opt to just go to very select movies in theaters, and they'll no longer want to go and see a comedy in theater or go and see like, a Jason Statham movie, in theater, when, you can watch that sort of shit at home and have just as good of experience and maybe even better. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be the same for a long time, if ever.
Yeah.
But a lot of these companies now are saying, fuck it, we're going into theaters. We gotta try and reverse this damage. So we'll see if it works.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, we're still probably, honestly, until halfway of next year before we really know what all of this is going to play out to be like. So, lots more time to go on that one. Continued rumors surrounding where Disney takes Star Wars next has an only occasionally accurate leaker. State that Gal Gadot will be playing the leading role as a Sith princess in what sounds like the Skywalkers, but Sith. So it's like following instead of following Luke on the light side, we're following Gal Gadot's story on the Sith side of things. And that also doubled down that he believes that Keanu Reeves is going to be playing a Sith King in a film set thousands of years before the prequels. So those are the two things that he's very adamantly going on. Now, again, this leaker specifically, while they've been right in the past, it's not exactly a sterling reputation in that regard. It hasn't been right all the time, but you know what? A Sith story starring Gal Gadot probably would make some money, and Keanu Reeves making everyone money, so it's not like it's completely fucking insane to think of it, but I don't know.
Dog shit, to be honest with you. I'm just gonna keep it 100.
I didn't say it sounded good. I just said make money.
I like me some Keanu. I don't want to see him as a Sith King, and I don't mind me some Gal Gadot. But I'll tell you two faces I'm getting sick of in Hollywood. I'm getting sick of Gal Gadot, and I'm getting sick of what's her face, Captain Marvel. Both of them. I'm over both.
Why can't I think of her name?
Exactly. I'm literally over both of them. Like I don't want to run out and watch their movies in theater. I just don't. Brie Larson, yeah. Although Brie Larson can actually act, she's a great actress. She's getting Disney-fied, and I'm just checked out of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Checked out of it.
That's fair.
And Gal Gadot's just not a good actress.
No. She's good for what she needs to do, but she's not likely to become anything more than that. I think she'd be good enough for Star Wars. I don't think Star Wars has been laden with fucking, Oscar-worthy acting performances for most of them, but either way, yeah. We'll wait and see which of those rumors, if any, actually become a reality. But God only knows where the fuck Disney is going with the main movie series. Anyone's guess at this point.
Just give me shows. Just keep it up with the Disney Plus shows.
That's not ending anytime soon. That's
just give me those. Make sure Kevin Feige is part of this shit, and Trevorrow Trevorrow. And just keep pumping out those Mandalorian type shows that are short and concise. And I'll fucks with that. But these movies, the movie shit, or Favreau. Thank you.
Yeah, Favreau.
I knew I was.
I was about to say Favreau, but I was like, I don't know.
And yeah, if I fucks with those guys, I don't fucks with the movies, man. I'm over them shits.
Yeah.
Star Wars is becoming Halo for me. It's starting to become Halo for me.
Okay. Fair ball. Yeah, I mean, I love, I won't say I love, I like the TV show format, but for Star Wars, I still kind of enjoy the movie format, even though I've only passively enjoyed the recent films, some of them better than others, like Rogue One, I think is probably the best showing that they had.
Yeah.
So but we'll see. Hopefully, like you said, they got better people behind the helm in a lot of these instances now. So hopefully we can get some better results out of them as well. Dave Bautista was also hoping for better results, Mr. Black, as it came out, and he had admitted it as well earlier this week that he passed on a role in Fast and the Furious 6. This is a while ago now. Fast and the Furious 6 so that he could pitch a Gears of War movie. And we all know how that went. The Gears of War movie did not happen. Fast and the Furious went on to be a very, very sizable franchise that continues to be sizable. But I gotta respect the effort. He wanted to have a Gears of War movie happen. He likes the games. He likes the universe. He wants to make it happen. You know, and for some people it pays off. You know, Henry Cavill went and advocated for The Witcher, and all of a sudden Henry Cavill's The Witcher. But did not work out that way for me, Mr. Dave Bautista. Not like he's hurting right now. He's in a lot of movies,
I think you're going to probably see Dave Bautista in another Fast and the Furious movie in the future.
Probably.
Yeah.
Why not? Get him while he can still be on all this testosterone. You know, get him in there. And let's see here. Last up, we've got AT&T and Discovery have announced that Warner Media will be merging with Discovery in a roughly $43 billion deal. It combines Warner Media's premium entertainment, sports, and news assets with Discovery's entertainment and sports business. This merger muddies the waters for other divisions like the comic books and gaming divisions. We're still not I don't think we're 100% sure how some of these are going to pan out. The company will partially own DC Comics and the rights to all of its IP, and only portions of. So there are two rumors floating around right now. One being that only portions of Warner Bros. Games assets will be sold off, included as part of the deal, and not to move to this new company. This would involve games like Mortal Kombat, the Batman Arkham series, Lord of the Rings, etc. But the latest rumor I could find was that all of the game assets will be moved to the new merged company. So we don't know exactly yet, but that's happening. But it's also throwing up questions for like, what will this mean for current subscribers to AT&T and like in terms of HBO content and all this other shit? So that's all muddied, whatever. But what do we know? I'm sure you know a bit about this as well. What do we know about like the what this means for DC movies and stuff, if anything?
I watched a couple videos on this, and people aren't really 100% sure exactly what's going to happen yet. It's the deal has been agreed upon, but apparently they're forming, like, all the shareholders are now getting shares to this new company, and they're formulating a new team, and nobody really knows exactly how it's going to be ran or what IPs are doing what. So, this deal could take a minimum 6 months to go through, but likely could take up to 2 years.
Yeah.
So, because they got to go through a whole bunch of regulatory shit, and it's going to be a long thing, but it's a big deal. But we just don't know enough yet. It just kind of got announced, and so we'll see.
Yeah, I think they were saying their best estimates is that the earliest it's likely to close is sometime next year. Yeah. Because like you said, there's a lot of properties involved, a lot of things to go over, regulatory and otherwise. So big deal for me, $43 billion deal, and it would make a massive entertainment merger. I mean, that's Discovery and HBO under the same umbrella would be an enormous value proposition as a TV package or a streaming package, whatever direction they take this in. That's a lot of value that you could get there. So we'll have to wait and see. We have to see what else comes out of that as time moves forward. But that's it for movies and TV, unless you got something, Mr. Black.
I got nothing.
Yeah, no, there wasn't really anything that we haven't watched anything new. Nothing really new has popped up to watch, and so pretty much just whatever, which means it's time for
tech support.
Patreon.com/LikeTV is the place to go if you want to financially support this podcast. Then that's exactly where you do it. And for $10 or more per month, amongst other things, you can also ask us questions on a post I put up before the podcast each and every week called Tech Support, and we answer as many of those as we can in the time that we have. Let's see what we got going on this week. Alexa says, with the summer looking like it's going to be more and more normal, what have you guys missed the most since the pandemic started? What do you look forward to get back to the most? I mean, we've answered this question a million times. You know what? The thing about the summer here is it's not looking like it's going to go back to normal.
No, it's not, actually. We're probably going to be fucked for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
and then it'll probably get normal come around Christmas time.
Yeah, the thing, because the thing here is that for better or worse, and honestly, it's for the better in general, is that our provincial government is good about actually obeying the laws of science. And when the numbers come in and say we shouldn't be opening up, they're not opening up. And when the numbers say we should be clamping down, they clamp down. And we were hoping that we'd be able to get to a normal summer with these restrictions, and we might have like a quasi open-ish. And by open, I mean we can go to a neighboring fucking zone within the province as people who live within the province. I mean, that's what we're talking about here, not anything more than that. That's a maybe. But the problem is that when they opened up for Easter weekend, it really spiraled out of control, and there were way more cases than they thought going into making this lockdown happen. Dr. Strang said, look, to be honest, we obviously had way more spread than we thought there was going to be, and so the numbers are taking way longer to come down than we thought they were going to. And that's where we're at right now. The numbers are going down, thankfully. Not without deaths. We're having a lot more, and for us, more deaths than we ever had leading up to this point. But that's kind of what we're looking at. So we're not likely to have the summer that we should have had because we desperately wanted to have an open Easter weekend. But here we are. So, yeah, I mean, but otherwise, we've already mentioned stuff. We both want to just get out, spend time with family. That's the number one thing for sure. Seth asks, what's the craziest troll that you've ever had pop up on your stream? Have you ever had? We've both had lots of crazy trolls.
I've had tons of trolls.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there was a guy that. You know what? I'm gonna go with Suicidal Zerg, man.
Yeah, he's a troll.
Go with Suicidal Zerg. He's a troll. We love him, but I remember when I used to have the notification stuff. Like there would be goat noises, screams, fucking weeboo music, and it was just nonstop. The guy was trolly as fuck. So I gotta give a shout out to my man Suicidal Zerg, for being the troll we love.
I've had a few. The problem is that some are like trolls like Suicidal is definitely high up on the list for sure. And then there are some people that are just legitimately they have mental illness and they're just it comes across as being a troll, but they're not being a troll. They just legitimately they're on the internet. And some people, that's actually a problem that I've come into multiple times now on my stream. Is no offense to my mods and stuff. It's just everyone kind of has a knee-jerk reaction like this sometimes, but I feel like a lot of people on the internet have the base assumption that everyone's a troll if they're being what they consider trolly. And the reality is that because I think a lot of people think that in their mind everyone on the internet is close to their age and like their cognitive abilities are all the same, etc., etc. It's all the same shit. The problem is that that's not the reality of it. The internet's a pretty big fucking place. A lot of people online that aren't in that situation, and so you get people that will just jump on and just shit down the neck of people immediately, and I've had to now at least 3 times in the last year claw back on chat getting a little too crazy with it and it's only because I worked with kids that had a wide range of stuff, whether it was like Asperger's or other developmental issues or social developmental issues and things of that nature that I can recognize sometimes when somebody not trolling, but actually that's just them. So that's actually been more of a problem for me than anything. I don't get a lot of trolls on the channel anymore. Suicidal is definitely still occasionally a troll, but I've curbed him years ago. I've had my fair share, but none are like really crazy standouts in that regard. Let's see. Fuck Dapbeard. I am not Dapbeard. I'm not reading your shitty dad joke on the air. You tried, but I'm not reading your damn dad joke on the on the air. Let's see. Jorbach, are there any particular community moments, either Lag TV or your own individual streams, that you fondly remember?
I mean, my wedding. It's a pretty big one.
Yeah, pretty big.
Pretty memorable one.
Pretty memorable, pretty big.
When I had the 23,000 viewer chainmail shit on League of Legends, that was a big one.
That was wild.
When I stabbed my TV and it was the most anticlimactic thing known on Twitch history, that was also memorable.
So
and when I did my Susha toga, that was also
going to go get sushi in a toga for what was it, like $8,000 or some stupid amount of money?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for as far as like Lag TV stuff goes, I mean, we have all sorts of stuff. The original Lag TV meetup in Montreal.
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah,
was fucking nuts. Drinking an entire bottle of bourbon at 11 o'clock in the morning out of red cups in Kentucky's hotel room. And then basically just going bar hopping for the rest of the day.
That's when we met Fathom.
That's where we met French Adam. For the first, he showed up for that. He popped over and bless him, he's one of my favorite people in the world now.
Yeah, he's cool, man. I like Fathom a lot.
Yeah, he's a winner. So that was an event for sure. It was also funny that T-Diz randomly fucking popped up out of the woodwork when we were in fucking. It's just.
Yep.
I've told the story a million times, but the funniest part about Diz showing up was that when he decided to disappear again, like he showed up, he was there for a couple of bar hops, and then he was like, all right, pimp, I'm heading out. I got this place gotta be. You're like, all right, so he heads out, and then we were going home at this point. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning or some shit. We were going home, and we somehow managed to run into him again. We were walking up the street. He was coming down a hill from somewhere. And he had no shoes on. And he had no shirt. And he had wax all over him. It was fucking weird. He looked like he just got in a fight with I don't even know what. It was just a weird BDSM dungeon. And as it turns out, that's kind of where he accidentally ended up. Where he was hammered. He was like, Pimp, I don't know what just happened. I went into this bar, and it was crazy. There was a lot of people. Suddenly, I was surrounded by these girls, and they were pouring hot wax on me, and it hurt like a son of a bitch, but I kind of liked it for a bit. Then but I couldn't hold on much longer. I left my shoes. I don't know where my shoes are. So he's just no shirt, no shoes, walking down the street, 2 o'clock in the morning in Montreal, and then he disappeared into the night again, and that was like one of the last times I saw T-Diz in my life. I don't think I've actually seen him in person since.
Cool.
So that was an eventful day, for sure. And then, I mean, I would say the first time, I mean, man, the standout stuff for like the community stuff with Lag TV, building the website was wild. That was an interesting time. That was pretty nuts. The Minecraft server was crazy with the boys running that.
Yeah,
that was fun. That was fucking nuts. Jaded Wolf and crew.
Mm-hmm.
Our fundraisers were all bangers. The early fundraisers were definitely bangers, for sure. We raised a shitload of money with almost no viewers in comparison to other events. So the community showed up huge for those days. For me and my own community, I would say the year that Shitty Games Done Slow just so happened to it just happened. You know, Brian and I just started hanging out again for the first time after years of not spending time together, and then we were playing games, and somebody was like, hey, why don't you play this shitty fucking game? We're like, you're going to pay us to do that. And just like when cheese fails, where it just happened to like happen. It just happened. And now Shitty Games Done Slow, I missed it. I didn't get to do it last year. It's one of my favorite times of year. You get together with Brian and play fucking terrible video games, which would only be fun doing it with a friend you've had for 20 fucking years. Because doing it by yourself would be torturous. At least when you're tortured with other people, you can laugh about it later. And so that's, that's been lovely. But I would say probably the pinnacle of all this stuff for Lag TV, like specifically, with like the memories I have in my mind are all in the original days, Jeff's old apartment that was the 180% humidity at all times. The floors were sticky, the doorknobs were sticky, the walls were sticky, everything was sticky, just humidity, cat hair everywhere because he had Max at that stage, and so the humidity on the floor, Max hair everywhere. It was just everything was just damp, and it was like 40 trillion degrees in an apartment for some reason, like so hot. You'd think the heat would dry the room, but it didn't. And anyway, and still to this day, but back then, every time we had to do anything, we had to use, instead of a screwdriver, we had to use a fucking kitchen knife because there wasn't a screwdriver in the fucking apartment building.
Dude, my favorite is when we did Shadow of the Colossus, man. When you came over my house.
Oh my god, we were dead.
We fucking played that shit from start to finish.
Yes.
I'd never played it before, and we just started dying.
Take her for a rip.
Take her for a rip, bud, and we just fucking
Which
died.
is not nearly as funny as we thought it was, but when we, at the time, after all those hours, it was so early in the morning, and it didn't matter. Every time one of us said it, it was just fucking crying, laughing. Do we still have that VOD somewhere, or is that gone to the wind?
Oh, it's probably gone with the whole purge.
Oh, what a fucking magical time that was for anyone that was there for that. Yeah, that's definitely a peak moment for sure. And another fun one that was offline was when we built your sound booth in your old home.
Yes,
was fun. That was an experience. And instead of take her for a rip, the thing we just was the cream.
The cream.
The cream. The cream.
And then we have cream shirts.
And now we have cream. Now we have cream T-shirts. Like all of that happened offline. None of it happened on camera. It was two grown-ass men in their 30s, fucking for like 12 straight hours, like building shit. But we were just we barely talked to each other the whole time. The only words that came out of our mouth was the cream of the crop. Like every fucking It was just Macho Man isms for like 12 hours. It was fucking stupid.
Good times.
So yeah, that was pretty funny. So there you go. There's some bangers. It was pretty good. Last one, the Halo realization that unfortunately never came to be. That was pretty fun on the for a podcast specific one. The Halo realization with Ninja. When we realized, when he went to Mixer and we went, wait a minute, Halo is coming. And we were like, my God, it was like the greatest epiphany of all time. But unfortunately, Mixer dropped the ball on that one. So
they died before Halo even came out. So.
Yeah. Swing and a miss.
Yep.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Dan Jim asks, would you rather have all traffic lights that you ever approach be green, or never have to stand in line again?
Never have to stand in line again.
Oh, I'll take that one all day.
Yeah, that's such an easy one. I don't give a fuck about the red and green lights, I'm not in a rush all the time to go places. But lineups, whether you're at the grocery store, the theater, the restaurants, and you're fucking starving, just anything in general. Lines suck. DMV. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
The worst thing about grocery stores is that they never move fast enough for the lines to not awkwardly end up like in the fucking aisles. And so you're constantly people trying to walk across you through the lines, and like get around you, and people like don't know where the lines start and stop, so you have to like sometimes awkwardly be like, no, you can't cut in front of me. You're like, oh, sorry, I didn't know the line started here. Like, because there's only like 3 fucking like tills open at any given time.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I would take the no line all day, for sure. I mean, it's annoying when you hit, like when I take M to work sometimes, it's annoying when we hit every fucking light between here. I mean, that's that fucking, and it turns yellow, but it turns yellow at the time where you can't just fucking make it through.
Yeah.
And you want to kill somebody, and you know that's bad. But lineups are so much worse. Time Tricks asks, what are some of the biggest issues that people don't prepare for when they buy or move into a new house?
Say that one more time.
What are some of the things or some of the biggest issues that people don't prepare for when they buy or move into a home?
Furniture.
You don't think about how expensive that is.
Yeah, you don't. You're like, oh yeah, we'll fill this up, and then you realize how expensive it is, and then like all of your old furniture just doesn't fit in the places that it fit before. So that's definitely the biggest thing is furniture filling the fucking house. That's something that a lot of people don't consider, and I think a lot of people also don't consider heating the house. You don't realize, especially if you live in Canada, where or here in Nova Scotia, where it's
6
expensive.
months, actually more than 6 months, probably 8 months out of the year you're running your heat.
You're using heat, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, my mortgage payments are this, my insurance is that, and then heat bill is like, oh my god. In the winter time, you're like, oh my god. Like our peak winter bill, we usually get one. Our worst one every year is $1,200.
Yeah.
So it's $600 a month for power.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That shit gets bad.
That's insane. Like a not so bad power bill here is for us is like $550, $600. That's like the lowest it gets.
Yeah. I would say the things that people don't prepare for are, even though you know they're coming, or the things that you don't think about right off the rip when you're doing your calculations for stuff, property taxes, house insurance, all the kind of stuff that you don't think about. A lot of people just think about it all as if you lumped it all into your mortgage, right? They think, oh, just the mortgage is this, and so this is the cost of me having this house. But it's upkeeping the house, any repairs that need to be done, the insurance for the house, the tax, the property tax that you might have to have for the house. Maybe your house is on, like here where you have like drainage with the water commission you have to pay in certain areas of the city for as a minor tax. So there's all sorts of that stuff that will kind of creep up on you and
you own a house, shit breaks and shit gets bad.
Yeah.
And maintenance, man. You don't have a landlord that's gonna go, oh yeah, I'll come fix that.
Yeah.
It's on you. You got a leak in the roof, you got an appliance that dies, a hot water tank that blows up, fucking, really anything. Light bulb,
you gotta deal with
out,
it.
like, whatever. Like, shit adds up.
So, those are the things I'd say that people get hit with the most. And when you're going in, if you have a real estate agent, they tend to do most of that legwork for you. But asking about things like, when was the last time the roof was replaced? How old are the windows in the house? If this isn't a new construction, of course, then when was the last time the roof was replaced? When were the how old are the windows? Stuff like that. Because that shit can be bad too. Like, let's say if you don't ask that question and you're just buying a house sight unseen, and then you're in a situation where the roof needs to be redone. The roof is a fucking expensive thing to just fucking pop on top of whatever you just bought the house for. I mean, you're looking at like, you can be paying $15,000+ to try to put a new roof on. So,
yep.
Things like that. It's just be aware of the extra expenses that you might not be thinking about ahead of time. Furniture for sure is definitely one a lot of people don't think about, but most people when they buy a home, they bring their bed and they've got like a couch and a TV and then like utensils, and that's the show. And not everyone's in a rush to fill the whole home, full of furniture, but it's something that you don't think about. And I often try and tell people, if you're going to buy a place, just buy a place that's, big enough. Don't fucking go too crazy, because the bigger you go, the more you fill the house full of shit. The more room you have, you might think, oh, it's nice to have this spare room or whatever the fuck. You are going to fill that shit full of something. Whether you're going to be like, oh, well, I have the storage, so I'll just keep buying shit. And then eventually it ends up in the one room in the house that's just storage. Or you have like fucking, you got this big wall, and so now we have to fill it full of shelves and knickknacks and fucking just like friggin' it's nuts. Like when I moved into that first place, it was only 1,900 square feet. Lord have mercy on my soul, the amount of money spent to fill every fucking corner of that house to make it feel like a home.
Yep.
Huh.
Trust me, I know.
It's gonna be a no from me, dog. All right, so let's see here. What else we got here? Mark Furry asks, other than graphics cards, has there been anything that you haven't been able to get that you wanted to get recently?
Man, I just want to go to a restaurant and get some sushi, man.
Yeah, that's
it, man. I'm a basic guy right now. That's all I want. That's it. Pretty much anything you can buy online, it brings to your fucking house. It's 2021. It's that restaurant experience, just sitting down and just eating some sushi.
Yeah.
Chilling outside of my house.
That's it.
That's what I want.
That's it.
Give me all that.
Nick Winters asks, this comes in from Mrs. Winters. Have you seen Bridgerton, and was it at the behest of your significant other? What did you think? I haven't seen Bridgerton.
I haven't seen it, but I think Kayla watched it.
Yeah.
But I haven't watched it.
No.
So I don't have an opinion.
Volkus asks, just heard that Ford has unveiled their electric F-150 and calling it Lightning. They've used the Lightning branding before on their trucks, so that's not shocking. Had you guys heard, and any thoughts on it? They're doing pre-orders now for 2022 delivery. I heard about it. I'm not gonna buy a truck. I have no reason to. I'm not like some people that just buy a truck to have a truck. The only reason I'm gonna buy a truck is if I actually have a utility reason to own a truck. Otherwise, what the fuck are you doing with your time and money? Not to mention fucking up the roads for no reason. You dick. We really need to install or have tax based on vehicle weight and shit to curb how many people are just driving around in fucking F-150s, F-250s and shit. It's nuts. The problem is that everything got so fuel efficient now that people are like, oh, well, if this truck is getting me 25 miles to the gallon now, fuck it, I'll just buy a truck. Nobody's fucking they're not it's not like they're doing construction work, or they're hauling shit around between properties or anything. They're not doing any of that. They're like, I'm going to my office job in my F-150.
People like trucks, man. Some people like trucks. Some people go to their office job in a Ferrari, right?
Yeah, well, that's fine, but Ferrari doesn't fuck up the road like an F-150 does. And you also have 4 fucking Ferraris per 400,000 fucking F-150s. It's not like you're worried about the Ferrari fucking up the road where everyone has to pay taxes to maintain the roads. It's just fucking nuts. But no, I mean, it's congratulations to Ford. Good luck. It'll be fun to see, the Lightning versus the what's it called from Tesla? What do they call it?
Cybertruck.
The Cybertruck. Both of those, Lightning and Cybertruck. Fucking weird ass.
Futuristic.
Super futuristic. Stephen Hopkins asks, I've always respected how you guys can have heated disagreements but still be boys at the end of the day. It's called being an adult, by the way. You should try it sometime. It's a challenging thing out here right now. I know on social media it's difficult to be able to have disagreements with somebody, and You know, that's, but it's called being an adult, and more people should probably try that sometime. My question to each of you is this: what is something that the other believes that you just can't understand? Like an agree to disagree kind of a situation, I guess, is what he's getting at.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
there's probably several.
Yeah. I think, you know, politically and religiously, we probably are not on the same spectrum, but
I think we're both voting for the same people. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I suppose.
We differ where we are on the spectrum, but we're both neither of us are hard-nosed conservative, for God's sake.
No.
I'd say we're
I'm definitely more conservative than you are, but
yeah.
I still teeter left.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is the right person on the right side, they could sway me. But
I've voted conservative in the past. But from a policy perspective, I lean further liberal than I do conservative on average. At least as the parties stand right now, fucking Lord knows they could flip at any given moment. But yeah, I have no.
The thing is I don't need to agree with Adam on everything. I respect his opinion. So like it or his beliefs. It doesn't affect me. It's just like whatever. I'm not. You know. I'm like that with everybody. Whatever makes you happy. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I don't really care.
That's right. Buy an F-150.
There you go.
Drive it to your office job. You cunt. Logan.
All right, let's go. One more.
Yeah, it's the last one. This is the last one. Yeah. I just learned about the Theodore 2, the Halifax boat this week. What hilarious or cool. They sold that thing actually not long ago. What hilarious or cool features would you have on your yacht if you owned one? The Theodore the tugboat shit was dope for kids. I'm sad that we sold that thing. I don't know if it's going to stay in the harbor or not. But
what would I have on my yacht? I mean, don't yachts already have just about everything you could want anyway?
I'm guessing if he's saying like Theodore, like what kind of like non-traditional shit would you have on your yacht?
I don't know. I don't know. Fucking arcade. I'd have an arcade on my yacht. Full blown arcade.
Man, if I own a yacht, I'm hiring a personal sushi chef.
There
and
you
on
go.
On the top deck, you know, out on the back, have the little session of sushi eating. My private sushi chef that I hire for, $2,500 a day. Because I own a yacht. Fuck you. I also own a Ford F-150. So I have 5. One of them's on my yacht. I just parked it there.
Dude, I got a motherfucking truck, man. Stop. Fuck
Bro,
off.
you use it! You fucking have several properties in which you actively move shit between. You don't hop in the truck and go for a joyride for like 7 hours just to fucking get the truck.
I don't.
You use yours. You are not in that category. You're not going to like your office job pushing pencils for a living and parking a fucking like Ford F-150 or a 250 outside like a super diesel and fucking get... You're not in that category. But yeah, there you go. Personal sushi chef and arcade. What arcade cabinets are in your arcade, Jeff?
All classics, man. I'm getting Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Turtles in Time. I'm gonna have old pinball machines.
You better put fucking NBA Jam Tournament Edition in there.
Why not? NBA, yes. I'll have them all. DDR machine. Some foosball.
Do you have the punch machine?
No, we keep the punch machine off there. No punch machine. No punch machine. People get stupid with it. People get stupid around those punch machines.
Bro, there are so many videos of people like hitting and like somebody's standing next to them and just missing the bag and just what?
Yep, or smacking the fucking machine itself like they throw a punch and it just miss and hit the fucking plastic
just
or metal
punch
behind.
The fucking metal behind it.
No, that ain't it.
We did fuck around with that one a lot though at the theater back in the day. It was kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's the Technical Alpha Podcast this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back next week with more video game news and movie news and us talking about punch machines. But until next week, guys, stay safe out there. Thank you once again for stopping by. We hope you are all getting your 5G as soon as humanly possible. And until then, stay the fuck at home. Peace!
Peace.